Welcome everybody to today's training on the 10 steps to success. My name is Jeremy Jenkins. I'm a master trainer with Happy Travel. It is my pleasure to be able to share with you today step 2 of the 10 steps to success. We're going to go through creating a team, right? I used to call this one creating a list, but it's much more than that. It's actually creating a team. And so I changed the name of it for those that have ever been through my 10 steps before, because I just thought, you know what? Yeah, it's more than just creating our list. We want to actually understand how to go out and bring people to the table, bring people, to the opportunity, and help them to have success just like we are, right? So it goes above and beyond just writing down a list of names, okay? So we're gonna go through this step 2. This is super important because the analogy I like to give is, we've been given a vehicle, right? We have a vehicle, and this vehicle is awesome, right? This vehicle we have is, if you think of it, it's a Ferrari, it's a Lamborghini, it's, whatever, it's a brand new Tesla, whatever you want as your vehicle. But the thing is, you got to have fuel for your vehicle, okay? So as good as a Ferrari might be sitting in your driveway, if you don't fill it up, if you don't put gas in the tank, or you don't, if it's a Tesla, you don't hook it up to the electricity, you're not going anywhere, right? It's just sitting in your driveway. You got to have the fuel. You got to have the thing that makes it go. And the thing that makes it go is the team. The thing that makes it go is, the people you bring to the table, whether that's customers or, partners, business partners in the organization. You got to have them, right? That's our job. That's what we're getting paid to do, is to bring people, right? That's why they do it. And so our job is, not so much sales, right? We're not sales people so much. We are influencers. We are, we are the ones that share with others, and we use our influence to be able to bring people to the table. So that's the value, right? So we've got to figure out, once we defined our why, which we did in our step number 1, now our next job, our next homework that we got to do is to create our team. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this. So it's really as simple as 1, 2, 3. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get plugged in. So we decided to do this, and we went ahead and defined our why. We have it all figured out. And this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing it. This is my motivation. This is what gets me up in the morning. This is what keeps me, coming to the Zoom calls and getting on the or going to the meetings and actually talking to people. Right? We know that, but now we need to plug in. Okay, we need to actually understand what's going on. So that's why we've created, obviously, the different Facebook groups. Okay, we have the Happy Travels group for our prospects that we can add people to. We have the My Happy Travel, which is our Facebook company team for communication and training. And we have our Discord channel, which allows us to have communication for daily updates and motivation. Okay, so that's number 1. We're going to get plugged in. We're going to make sure that we're up to speed on everything that's going on. Right now, we're going to actually use it. Right, we're going to save. Okay, so part 2 of this is becoming a product of the product. Right, we now have access to the exclusive savings, discounts, and services. Right, so all of this can be found in our personal back office. We're going to go to thehappyco.com. We're going to log in. We're going to have access to the travel section and be able to get access to the the cashback app and the savings at home stuff, right? All those things. And so we're gonna, if you have any questions on that, get with your enrollers. They can walk you through it, how it works. But that's part 2 of this is, hey, we're gonna become a product of the product. We actually need to have our own experience with it, right? If we're gonna share this with other people, we need to have experienced it ourselves, right? So if they ask, oh, did you save money? Of course I did. I booked a hotel, or I went out to eat and saved money on this, or whatever it is, right? It's super, super important to be a product of the product, okay? And then the third thing is then to share it, right? So there are many ways to share with your prospects. You can text, email, you can do a selfie video, you can use Facebook Messenger, whatever. But one of the most effective ways that we found to do this, to share, is what we call ATM, all right? Add, tag, and message. So this means that after you initiate a conversation with somebody, and they show interest, okay, you're going to add them to that Happy Travels Facebook group, and you're going to tag them, right? So if you don't know how to tag somebody on Facebook, it's not hard. You just type their name and it pops up. It says you want to, tag them. So it's really easy. And then you send them a welcome message in the group, right? Asking them to take a look at the testimonials. That's how you do it, right? So you initiate the conversation somehow, okay? Usually easiest if you use Facebook Messenger, but you can initiate it however. But then once they show interest, then you tell them, hey, are you on Facebook? Do you have a Facebook account, right? Can I add you as a friend? And can I add you to a group where you can see the information and see some videos and see some stuff about it, right? And they say yes, and you do it, right? So you add them to the group, you tag them in that group so they get a notification that says, hey, you've been added, and then you send them, you type the message saying, hey, here's the group I told you about, take a look around, let's see what's going on, okay? Then, that now they're going to be curious, right? Now they're going to be seeing all the savings that people are having, all the testimonials that are in the group, and it just motivates them to want to find out more, okay? And then from there, you can obviously get them into a presentation, you can send them another video, and there's lots of things to do after that in the follow-up, but that's the basic idea, okay? Is it allows them to immediately get involved in a community where they're going to see what's going on. You can also kind of do the same thing with Discord, right? You can add them to Discord and kind of tag them in Discord and say, hey, welcome, to our Discord community. Here's some information, whatever, okay? So either way, either in Discord or in Facebook, that's how you do it. You just add them in there, and now they can see what's going on, okay? So the ATM method is really, really important. However, here's the thing. Before you start sending messages to just anyone, we're going to want to qualify people first. We want to figure this out. We want to really, if you think of it this way, you want to have your best people right there working with you. Like you want to qualify them, right? You want to say, who are my generals, right? Not just, the normal people out there. I want, leaders. I want people who I'm going to work with directly, right? And so we're going to go through a process of qualification, okay? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to get on your cell phone and on your email and on your social media and your list of classmates, whatever. You're going to write down the list, okay? So here's the part of making a list. This is super important. So write down all your contacts. I would say at least 50 people. Think about it, all right? And it could be anything. It could be, okay, these are people I went to school with. Here's the people I work with at my job. Here's some family members, and just all kinds of things, right? These are people that go to the church with me, or hey, there's people that go to the gym with me. Whatever it is, right? There's people all over the place you can think of. Write down 50 of them. Right, 50 of those individuals. Now we're going to just really understand. We don't have to prejudge, right? We don't have to justify. We don't have to come up with excuses. We don't have to think for them. Just write it down. Okay. Don't say, oh no, but that person's too busy, or oh no, that person, they never talk to me anymore. Don't do that. Don't do any of that. Just write them down. Okay. Start out by writing down about 50 names. Now we're going to figure out who's going to go first. Okay. So we're going to think about, okay, who are people that care about others, right? Who are people that think big and bold? Who are people that are fun to work with? Who are people that get stuff done? Who are the ones that, have great character and integrity? Okay. And we're going to just kind of really figure out who are the best people we want to work with, right? So to do that, you could do this, right? You could prioritize your list by saying, okay, let's put in, we have John and Peter and Simon and Paul and Matt and James, right? So put them all in, and we're going to rate them, right? We're going to say, okay, John, is he reliable? Does he have a good attitude? Is he social, right? Does he have a good, economics? Is he good with money? Okay. So we're going to kind of sort them, right? And prioritize who might be the best ones to work with, and have right there in the beginning with you to go crazy, okay? And to start with them, right? So once you've prioritized your list, okay, and say, okay, these are the top, whatever, 4 or 5 or 6 or however many, right? Then now we're going to, reach out to them and we're going to use that ATM method and all that, right? So we identify my top business partners, okay? These are the people I would call in the middle of the night to come pick me up if I were stranded. They, they're going to want to at least see what I'm doing, right? If I don't contact them, they're probably going to be a little upset with me when I didn't, right? And if I'm starting to make, even $100 a month, let alone full-time income, they're going to be like, hey, why didn't you call me, right? Why didn't you talk to me about this? Okay, so we're going to write down their names in that order, and then we're going to do the checkoff. We're going to, connect, and we're going to pique their interest. Okay, and then we're going to do, send them an overview or intro video, right, and follow up. Then we're going to do the ATM. Okay, we're going to add them, we're going to tag them, we're going to message them in whether it's Facebook or Discord or wherever you want to do it. And then we're going to do a three-way chat and follow up with them. Okay, so that's where we're at. So that you just put down your top 12. Let's just say you found your top 12, and we're going to go through this checkoff. All right. Now, here's something I call the tunnel method, because you might be thinking, well, wow, 12 people. How am I going to talk to 12 people? That's overwhelming, right? For a lot of people, that's too much. So this is what this is a technique that I learned years ago, and it really, really does work. So I call it the tunnel method. Okay. So what it means is, so you have that list of about 12 people that, your first top priority ones. And what you're going to do is you're going to start with maybe just the first two. Okay. You're going to reach out to two, maybe three, and that's it. They're in the tunnel, right? Once you have reached out to somebody, that means you've put them in the tunnel, and they don't come out of the tunnel until you get a yes or a no out of them. Okay. And what that means is you're not putting any more people in the tunnel, because it's just too hard to keep track of, right? If you're trying to message, 10, 20 people, you're going to be like, whoa, how can I keep up with this? Okay. So don't try and do that. Don't try and go crazy, contacting 100 people at a time. It's too overwhelming, right? So start out with the tunnel method and just say, okay, I'm going to start with my top two, maybe three, and I'm going to send them that message, right? That initial message. Hey, I just got involved with this. This is so amazing, and I thought of you, and you're a great buddy, a great friend, or whatever. And hey, can I send you some information, right? And start that process. Once you get a yes or a no from them, that means okay, you move on, right? So a no just means put them back on the list for later down the road, right? A yes means getting them signed up and then putting someone else in the tunnel. So you only ever have maybe 2 or 3 at a time in the tunnel. That way it becomes manageable. That way you don't stress over it. Okay. So just have that list, start with 2 or 3, get them in the tunnel, and try and get a yes or a no out of them. Because that way you can move on, right? You don't have to, put 10 in the tunnel and you're waiting and, who am I going to follow up with? No, just limit it to just a few. Okay. Once you've done that, now you've gone through your list. Okay, now you've gone through your warm market, what we call our warm market, which is people all right? And hopefully, you've gotten a good 3, 5, 10 people, right? Whatever. Maybe hopefully all of them said yes, and, and why wouldn't they, right? But still, that's the idea. It's, okay, you've gone through your warm market, you've talked to everybody and now you're thinking, where do I go from here? What can I do to get more people to talk to? And that's where we come into Lighthouse Marketing. This is so important because this is the number one reason why people end up failing or giving up in networking, is because they run out. They run out of people. They start out with, the people they know. They burn through that list. Sometimes people say yes, sometimes they say no, but the whole point of networking is to keep going. You can't just stop. You can't just say, oh, I got 3, I'm done, right? You can never do that, ever. It has to be consistent, constant, talking to people over and over again for at least a good year or 2. Seriously, okay? To be able to say, I'm done, I'm completely done, I'm retired, I'm going to go live on a beach somewhere, right? That doesn't happen by just talking to 3 people and getting them in, right? You seriously have to recruit probably over the years, right? A good 100+ people into your team, because we just know the law of averages is that not everybody's going to do it, and not everybody's going to keep doing it, right? And people are going to drop out. They just will. And so to keep it consistent, to keep it going, to keep it humming, right, and keep the motor going, right, we got our Ferrari and we need to put gas in the tank always, okay, we need to keep getting new people. So how do we do that? I call it the Lighthouse Marketing method. Why? What does this have to do with anything? Well, here's the principle. It's simple but profound, okay? Lighthouse marketing can be summed up by comparing a lighthouse and a searchlight, right? So lighthouses are ancient. For hundreds of years, they have sat on their rocky hills. They guide millions of ships to safe harbor, right? It doesn't move. It doesn't change. The light is always lit. It attracts. It doesn't chase. It is solid. It's immovable, and it's dependable. Okay. Most people aren't like lighthouses, unfortunately. They're like searchlights, right? The searchlight is the rowboat, okay, that goes out with a light that tries to, find people in the water. So network marketers, unfortunately, we're hopping in those rowboats with our searchlights and we're rowing out to sea to try and rescue the struggling people. Okay. We're ambitious and we're friendly and we're determined to save as many people as we can. So we row out there. We shine our light into the gloom and mist, desperately seeking financially drowning prospects, right? But and we're excited. We're excited to haul them back up in the boat and and bring them back to shore and everything. But we wear ourselves out, right? Because then we got to go back in the boat and go back out there again, and it's cold and we're tired and everything, and it's not as effective, right? And people burn out when they try and do that, when they're out searching for somebody new, okay? What we got to do is attract the people to us. So the lighthouse sits up above all this activity and does just one thing. It casts its light miles out into the ocean, and it simply lets ships know where the safety lies. If the lighthouse could talk, it might say something like this: if you use me as a guide, you can find safe harbor. If you navigate by my light, you won't crash on the rocks. But understand, I'm not going to come out and get you. I'm not turning off my light, and I'm not getting down in the sea and helping one person at a time. I'm a lighthouse. I am built on absolute rock solid foundation, and I attract people to me. I never chase them. Okay. So super, super important to understand. We need to be like lighthouses, right? So don't be like this guy. Okay. This poor network marketer has gone out into the world. He's given the industry a bad name, and he's become an official member of the NFL, or the No Friends Left Club, right? And this is a common story in network marketing. Unfortunately, this same person, given the right training and taught the right philosophies, could easily become a lighthouse marketer. Network marketing is a business. It requires marketing, and the average Joe that gets started in the industry usually quits in frustration before they ever come close to finding the hidden methods of marketing that pull in the big bucks. So how do you become a lighthouse marketer? Well, the first thing that separates the heavy hitter from the bumbling amateur is their posture, right? Rookies hunt, but heavy hitters fish. Remember that. Heavy hitters fish, okay? So we have 4 pillars in marketing, right? We have paid advertising, right? Which is probably the most effective, but also most expensive, right? So in the beginning, most people don't do the paid advertising. Why? Because they don't have the budget, right? Second thing people do is what they call SEO, or search engine optimization. This means creating a blog or creating a website and getting a lot of people coming to it because Google sends people there, or Bing or Yahoo or whatever search engine, right, is sending people there because you have a lot of content. You're filling it up with stuff, and people come just because they want to, because it's interesting, whatever. Also difficult because you got to set it up and you got to put in a lot of content. The third one is social media, and that's probably the most recommended one. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. And then the fourth thing is traditional marketing, which is putting out flyers and banners and putting a thing on your car or whatever, right? So traditional stuff. Now, of those, okay, the most effective is number 1. That's why we talk about it, but it's also the most expensive. So you don't want to do that right away. We want to start out. My recommendation is with 3 and 4. Okay, do a little bit of traditional stuff, creating business cards and handing them out, and that kind of thing. But you also want to do social media. You want to become an influencer. Okay, so for beginners, I recommend this: that you start with social media and you use these 3: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Okay, they're just the biggest. All right. Now I know a lot of people might say, oh, but what about Twitter, or what about, some of these other things? And I say, don't waste your time. Not until you're actually up and making money and doing good. You may want to venture out into some of the other untapped markets, you could say. But honestly, you just want to go where the fish are, right? Like I said, the experts, right? They fish. Okay, so where do you want to go fishing? Where there's the most fish. It's logical. You want to go to the big lake where there's a gazillion fish in there. So you're going to make sure you're going to get people. Okay, and you may say, but I hate Facebook. It's terrible. I hate Mark Zuckerberg. Well, too bad. That's where the fish are. Okay, that's where if you want to eat, you got to go where the fish are. So Facebook, Instagram, they're tied at the hip, and you can actually hook them together and have whatever publishers on Facebook go into Instagram and vice versa. And then YouTube obviously is kind of separate, but also pretty, you can integrate it pretty well. So that's the thing. All the people on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are leads, and they're free ones. Okay, free leads for you, free brand new people that you can talk to and introduce this to and add tag message ATM to, right? Are in these 3 social media platforms. They're just the biggest out there. And so that's where you want to go. All right. Okay. Now, here's the fundamentals. You want to do personal development 30 minutes a day. What do I mean by that? I mean, listen to audios or read books or whatever it is you got to do from the top marketers. Go find the Jim Rohn channel. Go find the Eric Worre channel. Go listen to podcasts, whatever your preferred method. But do it. Take about 30 minutes a day to just learn, okay? Absorb, understand how all of this works, right? So you can start getting the things you need to say and talk when you talk to people. Number 2, exercise. Physical exercise 3 times a week. Do it. Do it. Okay, I know I don't want to say, I'm not your doctor, but it's true. If you can exercise at least 3 times a week, you're going to have more energy, you're going to feel better, you're going to be more excited to actually do this stuff. Okay, then phone time, right? Contacting, educating, closing, all that stuff, 30 to 90 minutes a day. Okay, yeah, just take 30 minutes, maybe on your lunch break, maybe in the evening, whatever it is, 30 minutes. That's it, right? Just 30 minutes to go out and find the people, get onto Facebook, get onto Instagram, get on these places and start contacting. Start contacting. Set the goal, right? Certain amount of people a day. Maybe it's 3 to 5 people a day. That's pretty easy. You can contact 3 to 5 people very, very easily on social media in 30 minutes, okay? So you just have to schedule it. It's just a matter of scheduling it, right? Just a matter of just deciding, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier than I normally do, so I have 30 minutes to go and do this, okay? And then, of course, family and personal time. Don't forget your why. It's super important. Don't go crazy. Don't miss, a birthday, or don't go nuts where your family thinks you're now a stranger, right? I've heard people talk about that, where you just got to go all in and ignore your family and miss birthdays and stuff. I don't agree with that. I think you need to not forget your why, right? You need to have family and personal time, but just be careful. Just be careful that you don't make it an excuse, right? Don't miss 30 minutes a day. You can fit that in, even if it's somebody's birthday. Okay, you can find a way to do 30 minutes. All right. Okay. And then, so here's what it would look like in your first 30 days. First, first you want to start with Facebook, and we're talking just 4 hours a week, maybe, right? Not a ton, right? So the first thing is you want to create your profile and get it all set up and looking professional. Make sure you have a good picture on there, right? For guys, I'd say, business, right? Maybe not a tie, but definitely, business looking, okay, nice looking. Don't put your favorite sports team. Don't put, a picture of your dog, right? No, get your profile looking good, okay, whatever that means. For women, same thing, business, business casual, whatever, but something that looks nice, okay? And, so because people are going to see that. That's the first thing they're going to see. And then you're going to join different networking groups and add 20 people per day. That's, like a lot of people are scared to use Facebook because they think, oh, it's where my family. Well, you can separate it out. Don't be scared of that. Okay. Don't think that, oh, I can't mix, my family. And if you get really nervous about it, just have two Facebooks. Okay. I do. I have two. I have a Facebook that I use mostly just for family stuff. And then I have another Facebook that's all business, 100% business, right? I don't care. I don't care if my family's on there or not. I don't care what they see. It's just 100%. And the goal, honestly, is to get to the maximum 5,000 friends. Okay. 5,000 friends on Facebook will do wonders for you. You have no idea. It's awesome. Okay. So how do you do it? You just go into different networking groups, right? And add 20 people per day. Just announce yourself in there. Say, hey, I'm new to networking. Add me as a friend. That's like, putting blood in the water and all the sharks come and, right? Why is it's so important? Because now you're going to find people that actually already do networking, right? And so you don't have to deal with all the stuff about, oh, is this a pyramid scheme, or oh, is this one of those scams or whatever, right? No, we don't want to deal with those kind of people. We want people that already get it. We want people that already understand how networking works, that have probably been in the industry for a few years, that, maybe they got burned in their last business. And so now they're kind of looking, right? Because they like it, they understand it, but, they just, they don't have a home, right? And they're looking for something new and exciting that they could go be part of. And they already understand it. Oh, those are the best kind, right? Those are the best kind of people. So jump into those different networking groups. Add 20 people per day. Don't do more than 20 though, because then Facebook will think you're crazy and they'll put you in Facebook jail, right? But start to interact with the people, and then join more groups, right? Get 100 new friends, leave comments, and just interact. Like I said, 30 minutes a day. Maybe the first few minutes, add some people, right? The next few minutes, start commenting, start liking things, right? Don't prospect immediately. Don't say, hey, come join me right now, right? No, just start to have the conversation, right? Just start to, publish things about you and why you're excited and what's going on, right? Don't force it at all, because it does take a little bit of time to kind of get people looking at you and going, oh, who is this person, right? Put out some value. And next thing you know, you have people wanting to know about you. This is the lighthouse. This is the light that we're shining out. Okay. Same thing with YouTube. Just 2 hours per week. You're going to create your account. You're going to start adding some videos. You're going to add 5 new videos and get 200 new contacts, another 5 videos. Now, when I say create videos, I'm talking just basic videos, like you in front of your phone, doing, just the basics, right? And you don't have to be all dressed up. You don't have to add fancy music. You don't have to add graphics. I'm talking just almost like a live thing, right? Just to get on there and do it. My best prospect I ever got found me on YouTube, me doing just in front of a whiteboard in my really crappy handwriting, right? Just explaining the compensation plan for a previous company I was in. And it was not professional at all, right? I had weird things in the background, and, and I wasn't dressed up in a suit and a tie or anything. It was just me on a whiteboard explaining. And yet this guy found me on YouTube and called me up and said, hey, I want to join your business. That sounds awesome, right? So don't think it's got to be all professional and cool and everything. No, just put out content. Just put out videos of you saying, hey, this is why I'm excited. This is what I'm doing. This is what's going on. This is how I understand it. And just do that and just get those videos out there, right? And it doesn't take very long. Again, the little 30-second videos, right? 1-minute videos, whatever, and just do a few of those a week. And next thing you know, people are going to find you, okay? And then finally, Instagram. Again, 2 hours per week, create the account, start following people, post, 3 or 4 times per day, just different things, just different images, pictures of what you're doing, and, things about, the opportunity, whatever. And, and then if people, don't do it, don't follow you back, unfollow them and follow 200 more, right? You just, do that, and just do that every day for a little bit, just for a few minutes. Okay. And next thing you know, you're going to have 5,000 Facebook friends. You're going to have thousands of YouTube followers, and you're going to have thousands of Instagram followers that will be interested in what you have to say. All right. Finally, and the most important is to follow up. Okay. So Eric Worre taught it can take an average of 4 to 6 exposures for the average prospect to join. So that's why this is so important, because you got to be putting it out there a lot, right? That's why I say 5 to 6 videos per week, right? Whatever, because people just need to see it, and they need to see it again, and they need to see it again, and they need to see it again, okay? Before they finally get it, before it finally clicks, before they finally go, oh, this is serious. Oh, this guy is, really, like convinced that this is real. Oh, okay. Or, oh, wow, that lady, she keeps talking about that. That sounds interesting. But people get distracted, right? People get, they get busy, and so they might be interested initially, but then they just kind of forget. Well, you know what? If you keep going, if you keep doing it, eventually you'll catch them in a moment of weakness, right? You'll catch them in a moment where they've got some time, or they're like, oh, I should actually look at that right now, right? And they'll click on it, okay? Because it's not that people aren't interested, it's just they're busy. They're just, distracted. They're just doing 100 things. And so they might see your initial post or your initial whatever and be like, oh, that's cool, right? But then they don't act on it because it's not in their brain yet, right? And whatever. But if you keep going, it's what we call branding. Branding is so important. It's the repeated, it gets in their brain, and then they're like, oh, I get it, I see it, and they see it all over, and now they're more willing, and so you catch them, okay? So here's the thing. Which one do you want to be? 48% of people never follow up with a new prospect. 25% of people make a second contact and then stop. 12% of people only make 3 contacts and then stop. And only 10% make more than 3 contacts. However, 2% of sales are made on the first contact, 3% are made on the second, 5% are on the third, 10% on the fourth, and 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. That's how important this is, okay? So follow up. Do the ad tag message, ATM, right? Create your profiles, get your Lighthouse up and going, and then as people see you, because of your daily activity of sharing and commenting and participating, then you follow up with them and you get them in. And if you do this every day, there is an unlimited amount of people you can talk to. There's over 1 billion people on Facebook, right? 500 million people on Instagram. I mean, it's just, there's so many people available, you can never run out. And there's new ones all the time, right? New people coming onto the platforms all the time. You will never, ever, ever run out of people to talk to and get involved. So if you follow this and you become a Lighthouse and you just do it consistently for the next several months, maybe a couple years, it's a guarantee. You will be successful. You will find that freedom that we've all been looking for. And we'll figure out how to do even more of this as we go through the rest of the 10 steps. You will see this is just step 2, guys. So anyway, with that, I'm going to let you get back to your Saturdays. Thanks so much. And we will see you next week for step number 3, which has to do with setting goals, which is also a very important part of what we just talked about. All right. Talk to you later. Have a great day. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.